Have you ever looked at your character and felt something was missing? I've been there too. But what if I told you that by the end of this video, you'll have the secrets to make every manga character you design unforgettable? I've designed 30 plus characters for my manga, and I'm going to show you how to design manga characters better than 99% of artists out there. And we're just going to cut to the chase. Designing characters better is not about designing more intricate characters. Let's start with silhouettes. You've probably heard that starting your design with a strong silhouette makes your character instantly recognizable, even in the simplest form. And it's true. A good silhouette is unique and easily identifiable. It leaves a strong mental impression on anyone who sees it. To achieve this, though, you have to focus on the overall shape of your character. Go a little crazy here. Push the boundaries of what seems standard for character design. For example, a broad-shouldered warrior can convey strength and power, while a lanky thief might suggest agility and cunning. If you use exaggerated features to make the silhouette more distinctive, it'll really shine through to anyone who looks at it. Big hands, long legs, uniquely shaped heads, they all can contribute to a memorable outline. When designing your character, step back and look at their silhouette alone. Take your tool you're using, whether it's Clip Studio or Procreate, and add a black overlay to that layer for your character. If you can still recognize your character and there's a real distinct form there, you've done a good job. This technique ensures that your characters will be memorable even at a glance. And you should remember that the silhouette is the very first thing that your audience will notice about a character that you create. So it's important to make it count. This step is also going to lay the perfect foundation for our next and arguably most important step. Our next step is to focus on a simple yet strong design. This is the secret sauce, my friends. When you're drawing manga, you're going to be sketching characters repeatedly, sometimes hundreds upon hundreds of times, I promise you, in different angles, different compositions, different lightings. As a result of this fact, complex designs often can be extremely cumbersome and time-consuming. Instead, you should aim for simplicity, but include one or several memorable and striking features for your characters. Think of characters like Naruto with his whisker marks, or Luffy's straw hat, or even Sailor Moon with her hair buns. These features are extremely easy to draw, but it makes the character stand out. And a key point here is that simplicity does not mean boring, it means efficiency. Remember, we are manga creators, we're not illustrators, so it's not important to create something that's detailed visually and eye-catching and intricate visually. For us, it's important to focus on a few key elements that make the character unique and make them stand out, while also not consuming all of the time that we have when we're drawing the characters repeatedly. One way to approach this is to consider your character's clothing and accessories. These should be distinctive, but not overly complex. For instance, if you have a unique piece of jewelry or a specific type of footwear or clothing patterns, it can make them memorable without being difficult to draw repeatedly, which is how you're going to get ahead of 99% of other manga artists. We keep in mind that the goal is to create a design that's both iconic and practical for continuous use. One character from my manga, Ender, has a very straightforward and simple design. You can tell that he's some kind of higher ranking guy in some sort of military organization. Even though his design is pretty straightforward, there are a few really key highlight details about him. For example, his scar on his face. Now, the funniest part of this character is on another channel that I have where I'm doing animatics for my manga, someone pointed out this character based off of the design of his shoes. And there's nothing incredibly detailed about his shoes, but something about the way they look on his character made this person remember who he was based off of his shoes alone. And this is the power of simple yet strong character design that we as manga artists really need to internalize. Next, let's talk about gestures. Gestures are absolutely crucial for injecting personality into your characters in a manga. The way the character moves and the way that they hold themselves can tell you a lot about that character all on their own. Are their movements dramatic, or are they subtle, like a shy character tucking their hair behind their ears? Gestures really convey a lot about the character's personality, and they're even more important in sequential comics. For example, if you have a character that's super bold, you might use expansive gestures. They might stand very tall tall with their chest out and their arms wide. On the other hand, if you've got a character that's more reserved, you might have them make tight and contained movements. You may not draw them in larger than life poses or expressions. These gestures not only convey the personality of that character, but it also makes the character feel more dynamic and more alive. In order to practice this, you want to sketch your character in various poses that reflect their personality. So you should imagine how they would react in all kinds of different situations, and I would choose situations that possibly occur in your manga too. Now that we've got all of our ingredients, it's time to combine them together. Combining strong silhouettes, simple yet striking designs, and expressive gestures can elevate your character designs from where they are right now. Start by sketching out various silhouettes until you find one that really resonates with you. Then refine the design to be simple, but ensure that you include unique, striking elements. Lastly, you're going to bring that character to life with dynamic gestures that really reflect their personality. Overall, consider the story behind the character that you're designing. How does what they go through shape their appearance and movements? How does their story shape that? These small details, when combined together, will help you to create a character that's not only visually appealing, but also rich in personality. These things all require practice, and you should practice them regularly. Experiment with all kinds of different combinations until you find what works best for your character design process. I promise you that over time, you're gonna develop a unique style that makes your characters instantly recognizable and deeply engaging.